As a puppy, Ruby was only 2 hours away from being put down. You see, Ruby had been put up for adoption 5 times and returned 5 times for unmanageable behavior. There was a woman trainer at the SPCA who went to the head who said, "You've got to save this dog. This dog, Ruby, is smart. Can't you just at least see if the State Police Department Canine Unit would be interested?" She went home dejected. She never knew what the outcome was. But the SPCA took her advice. They called up the Rhode Island State Police Canine Unit, and they took a look at Ruby. And the next day, the sergeant called up State Trooper Dan O'Neill of the Rhode Island State Police and said, "Come on in. I have a partner for you." Dan O'Neill was so excited. This was his dream come true. He'd been telling anybody standing still that he wanted to be in the Canine Unit. He took Ruby home, and Ruby ran right into the living room and left a present on the living room rug. "Uh-oh, this is not going to be easy," he said. For the next 4 months, Trooper Dan worked and trained with Ruby, and eventually, Ruby started to turn the corner. Ruby got her police badge, and then she started going on successful missing persons searches.
911, what's your emergency?
It was October, a very cold snap. They got a call that there was a missing boy who had been missing for 36 hours. And so the Canine Unit officers and dogs split up to cover different territories. About 1.5 miles into the woods, Ruby bolted away from Dan. Dan chased Ruby. He found Ruby at the bottom of a ravine next to a prone body. She was licking the face of the boy who was there, trying to revive the boy. Dan went down. He realized there was a faint pulse. He radioed the emergency units and the other troopers. He gave them their GPS coordinates. They arrived, but they couldn't match up the coordinates, so Dan got Ruby to start barking, and they followed Ruby to that spot. They put the boy on a stretcher and took him off to the hospital. Dan immediately went to the home of the parents to give them the good news. "Your son is alive. He's on his way to the hospital right now." She cried. She was so grateful. And the mother said, "Excuse me, have you ever heard of a dog named Ruby?" Dan was astonished. He said, "Ruby just found your boy." She said, "I'm the volunteer trainer at the SPCA. I advocated for Ruby to live, and I never knew what happened." Dan felt the tears forming in his own eyes. And he said, "Ma'am, that means that Ruby, whom you saved as a puppy, is the dog that just saved your son's life." That is an amazing God wink.